just said.
Yeah.
So what is the most powerful way to promote innovation and creative thinking in an organization?
Yeah, I think there are different kind of ways. I see every organization is unique. So you also have to figure out a little bit what works in an organization, because what I did at KLM did not work at Vueling, and what I do at Vueling might not work at Chanel. So, but it always comes back to creating like a safe space where people feel okay to say whatever they think, and coming back again to that people really have to understand that the opposite of a good idea can also be a good idea. So create open-mindedness, and ways to do. Where I have different kind of ways to do that. So, for instance, when I was leading innovation at Vueling in Barcelona, I did a pop-up demo every now and then. So we hacked the canteen in the morning when everybody was drinking coffee. And then with my team, we showed the innovations that we're working on, prototypes, but also service blueprints, personas, everything. And the first time I did that, my team was like, oh my God, we really don't want to do this. And so I really had to push them to do it. And then it really worked out well. And then the employees were like, oh, wow, this is cool that we're working on that. And by showing our prototypes, we got feedback, we got new ideas. And my team members became super proud of that they could show that, hey, I'm working on this. So that was a lot of wins came from that. And that was a concept that worked really well in that environment. So of course, difficult to do that in an online environment. But so for me, it's all about, well, maybe sometimes have some crazy ideas and push for it. But it always has to, well, maybe put a smile on someone's face. I think that is a good way to measure if you're on the right track or not.
Yeah. And you just mentioned working remotely. How do you see the innovation scene and the practice and doing things in Corona, after Corona? I don't know if we could say after Corona, but right now within Corona, how is it changing?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I reflect on it a lot. So for me, innovation is a lot about serendipity, right? So the things that you did not expect that happen. And serendipity is much more difficult to organize when you are online. And serendipity happens when you are in the office and you bump into something and you talk and you together have a great idea or a new insight. So I haven't figured that one out yet. And I know a lot of people are trying to set up some concepts to create serendipity, but it's still difficult. Therefore, I also think that we will go to a I'd say it hybrid kind of way, where sometimes you work at home and sometimes you come together and where creativity will spark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have like lots of questions that I didn't have time. So I'll select one of them for the last one. So what is the most surprising thing you learned about success and about innovation, or after so many years of experience?
Yeah, success comes with failure, and it also kind of together is like, so for me, I try to reframe success, because success and failure has a lot to do with ego and how you feel, and it's some kind of a competition. While I read a book from Benjamin Zander, in The Art of Possibility, I can highly recommend that. And he said you can also ask yourself the question, how did I contribute today? So every day you think about, how can I contribute to everybody, your team, your organizations, or anything, and instead of this is my success or this is a failure, because then you start to label or you judge again. And ever since I tried to do that, I think I became much more effective, but also much more I don't know if it's friendly or people really like it when you just help them without expecting anything back, but to make anyone better in that kind of sense. So for me, that is a great insight, and I combine that together with the infinite game from Simon Sinek. I don't know if you read about that, but are we in this business to grow and regardless, or are we in this for an infinite period? And then you really need to think differently about how we are leading organizations. And it's not about grow anymore, but it's about how can we play in this world that is on fire for an infinite time. And then there are maybe different rules. Yeah. So success is for me totally different than when it was, the definition of success is totally different than when it was like 5 or 10 years ago.